Shakyamuni. The other leader was Devadatta, the bodhisattva, king of the deer. On seeing King Brahmadatta killing his herd, felt great compassion and went to Brahmadatta. The king's people drew their bows and let fly a rain of arrows. But Brahmadatta, seeing this deer approaching him, commanded his retinue to put away their bows and arrows so he could learn the motive for the deer's coming. Approaching the human king, the deer king knelt and said, "Sire, it is for a useless motive, namely, the pleasures of an outing and diversion, that our deer are suffering all the pains of death. If you wish, we will furnish you with food. We will establish a sequence and send you every day one deer for the royal kitchen." The king approved this proposition and gave in to the deer king's wish. Then the two herd leaders, in a great meeting, set up a sequence, and each in turn sent the deer from his herd whose turn it was to be killed. One day, a pregnant doe in Devadatta's herd said to him, "Today is my day to go to my death. But I am pregnant and it is not my baby's turn. Therefore I beg you to condescend to an agreement so that I, who must die, will undergo my lot, but that my baby should not suffer it." The deer king, Devadatta, became angry with her and said, "Who is there who would not take care for his life? The deer go to their death when their turn comes. Why would they accept your terms?" The mother deer then said, "My king is inhumane and has no pity. He has not considered my proposition and has become angry without valid reason. There is no way to talk to him." Then she went to the bodhisattva-king and told her story. The bodhisattva-king asked a doe, "What did your leader say?" She replied, "My leader is inhumane. He did not come to an arrangement but got angry. Great king, your humanity extends to all. That is why I come to you for refuge. As vast as the world is today, for me there is no place to appeal to a higher court." The bodhisattva thought, "This doe is very sad. If I do not intervene, her baby will be savagely killed. It is not the baby's turn. But how can I send in her place a deer whose turn has not yet come? Only I myself can replace her." Having thought thus, he made his decision. He delegated himself and sent away the mother doe. "I will replace you today, do not worry," he said. Then the deer king went to the palace of King Brahmadatta. The servants were astonished to see him come and reported the thing to the king. The king also was astounded, and having him brought before him, he asked, "Is your herd exhausted? Why have you come?" The deer king replied, "Great king, since your protection extends to the deer, nobody hurts us and we have increased. Why would the herd come to an end? But, in my neighbor's herd, there is a pregnant doe ready to give birth. She is to be killed and butchered and her baby put to death. She came to me and I had pity on her. It is impossible to replace her by someone who is not involved in this business. If I send her away and do not save her, I am no different than a piece of wood or a stone. My body will not last long. It will surely not escape death. To save the unfortunate compassionately is of immense merit. Those who have no loving kindness are like tigers and wolves." Hearing these words, the king rose from his seat and spoke these stanzas. "Truly I am an animal, a beast in human form. You, despite your body of an animal, are a man in the form of a beast." Single quote. It is correct to say that external form does not make a man. Although he is an animal, whoever knows how to express loving kindness is a man. For my own part, starting from today, I will not eat any meat whatsoever. I make you the gift of absence of fear, you may reassure your mind. The deer rejoiced in peace and the king found loving kindness and faith. Dharmaratta sacrifices himself for a stanza. The Brahmacharan Ifa travelled about in Jambudvipa for 12 years in search of the holy Dharma, but was unable to find it. At that time there was no Buddha and the Buddha Dharma also had disappeared. There was a Brahmin who said to him, "I possess a stanza of the holy Dharma. If you truly love the Dharma, I will give it to you." Dharmaratta answered, "I do love the Dharma truly." The Brahmin replied, "If you truly love the Dharma, you will take your skin as paper, one of your bones as pen, and you will write the stanza with your blood. Then I will give it to you." Dharmaratta agreed to these orders. He broke a bone, flayed his skin and wrote the following stanza with his blood. Practice the Dharma. Do not adopt a Dharma. In this world and in the other. The Dharmakaran dwells in peace. The pheasant extinguishing a jungle fire. There was once a jungle fire consuming the forest in which there lived a pheasant who used his strength to fly to some water, moisten his down and his feathers and return to extinguish the fire. The blaze was violent and the water that he poured over it was small in amount. But the pheasant did not find discouraging the fatigue of flying there and back. Then the god teacher came and asked the pheasant, "What are you doing there?" The pheasant answered, "I want to save this forest, for I have pity for living beings. This forest is shady, vast in extent, fresh and pleasant. The animals of my kind, my relatives and all the living beings are fond of it. I have the strength. Why would I be lazy in saving it?" The king of the gods asked him, "How long will you continue your effort?" The pheasant answered, "I will continue until death." The king of the gods continued, "Who knows with certainty that that is indeed your intention?" Then the pheasant made the following vow. "If my heart is sincere and my faith true, then may this fire be extinguished." At once, a god of the pure abodes heard the ardent vow of the bodhisattva and extinguished the fire. From early times until today, it is the only forest that is always flowering and is spared by fires. These are the various exploits that the bodhisattva accomplished in his previous lives. He carried out what was hard to do. He sacrificed his life, his kingdom, his wealth, his wife, his children, his elephants and horses, his 7 pearls, his head, his eyes, his bones and his marrow. He gave everything eagerly and without regret. It is said that for beings, in the space of a single day, the bodhisattva would undergo 1,000 deaths and 1,000 births. Such are the exploits that he accomplishes in his virtue of generosity, morality, patience, trance and wisdom. All the nidanas told in the Jataka Sutras are derived from bodily exertion. Cultivation of the good dharmas. Confident faith ignoring doubt. Absence of laziness. Insatiability in searching for the Dharma conducted among the saints and up to worldly people. Insatiability like that of the ocean that engulfs the waves, that is what characterizes the mental exertion of the bodhisattva. Question. The mention of insatiability is not correct. Why? When one has found what one has been looking for, one should be satisfied. But when something cannot be pursued or arranged, one ought to give it up. Why this perpetual dissatisfaction? When someone is digging a well looking for a spring and has worked hard, if there is no water, he should stop. It is the same for the practice of the path. Having reached a certain point, it is not necessary to practice further. Why this perpetual dissatisfaction? Answer. The exertion of the bodhisattva cannot be the object of an ordinary comparison. If the person digging the well does not succeed in finding water, this is as a result of his small efforts and not because there is no water. If there is no water in that place, there is some elsewhere, to be sure, and he should go where it is. The bodhisattva must go to Buddhahood, go there insatiably, and teach people relentlessly to go there. This is why we spoke of insatiability. Furthermore, the exertion and the aspirations of the bodhisattva are vast. He has sworn to save all beings. Now beings are inexhaustible in number. This is why his exertion also must be inexhaustible. You said that once something has been arranged, one should stop, but that is not correct. Although the bodhisattva may have come to Buddhahood, beings have not all arrived there. Therefore he cannot stop. Just as the nature of fire, even though it is not extinct, is to combat cold, so the exertion of the bodhisattva, even though he has not entered into nirvana, never stops. This is why, of the 18 special attributes, zealousness and exertion are two things to be practiced unceasingly. Furthermore, the bodhisattva abides in the virtue of wisdom by the method of non-abiding. He never abandons exertion. The exertion of the bodhisattva is not that of the Buddha.